I'm Mishima Yuki, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast, home of the second biggest group of Phantom Thieves ever. The first being me. Keck.
Hello, and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick Lynn. Joining us again is Taylor Hoyt. What's up, Taylor?
Hey, what's up?
So, we went on an adventure. We lost Taylor for a little bit. I'm glad I found him. You leveled up a little.
Lost in the woods.
Yeah.
I leveled up. Yeah, I was, our backyards have this giant forest, and, there was a ghost calling me, and I got lost in the netherworld for a couple weeks, but back again just in time for the avalanche of games because, oh boy, right now is like peak Taylor games. So I'm very excited to talk about what I've been playing.
Peak Taylor games. I only know of one. I wonder what the others are. But yeah, I have been addicted to cocaine.
Okay.
Called WoW.
I'm addicted to cocaine. The end. That's the end of the podcast.
The cocaine that's called WoW.
Yeah.
Did
it suck you back in?
It sucked me back in. I'm trying to lower my usage of it. I think the last like 3 days that I've had, I've just played that all day.
That's why I didn't want to get into it, man. You're like, you should play, and I'm like, dude, I can't because I just know how I play those games.
You're just gonna disappear.
I mean, I'm kind of disappearing with the game I'm playing right now, but with WoW, it just never ends,
I think you disappeared for a longer time than that. People know. People have been wondering. It's like, when's the next podcast? When's the next podcast? When's the next podcast? I don't know, guys. Stop it.
Business calls. Yeah, this last week has been we literally have been filming every day, sometimes twice a day, and I don't think we got home earlier than 8:30 at any given night. And usually our days start at 10, sometimes earlier. So it's just been 12-hour days every day. So and it's been like that for a while. So
you gotta get that work
that
done.
dollar
And get that money.
That dollar. Yep.
And I switched back to the morning shifts, so now I'm awake at 4 a.m.
Oh, fun. Is that permanent, or how do they decide how
that is
happens?
It's permanent now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because there was a posting, and I'm like, that's mine, and yep, became mine, and now they can't transfer me anymore.
That's good.
But yeah, let's talk about JRPGs, because there's been a lot of news. I'm sorry, it's been a really long time in between our E3 episode and now. So there's been a lot of news that's been released. So it's been so much, and that we kind of forgot what was new and what was not. So we just
and we don't want to go over like stuff that's too old that's not relevant anymore. But like Anime Expo just happened, so there was a lot of news from that.
Mm-hmm. And we're just we're going to talk about big topics. Or big news that we're interested in, which isn't much apparently. But let's start with the first thing, which is Falcom Teases modern ports of Zero no Keseki, which is the Legend of Heroes crossbow, pretty much.
I'm shocked, frankly. I thought, lately there's been a lot of games that I'm like, oh, this will never happen. This will never come to the West. It's funny. I have this list of videos that I want to do, and one of them was like JRPGs we never got and probably never will, and two of them were the third Mana game, which is now called Trials of Mana, and Phantasy Star Online 2, Phantasy Star Online 2, and sure enough, those got and then the other ones were Crossbell and along with a couple others, and
the best Tales game.
Yeah, we are in an era where anything is possible. So I'm shocked, and also at the same time not shocked that this is, that they're talking about this.
This might be just him saying, "Yeah, okay, shut up, Ben. We know you want it, but we might, Could be that. Could be just PR talk.
I don't think so. Here's my thing. I don't think they would get fans' hopes up. I don't know. I don't think they would say, "Oh yeah, we're thinking about it." If they wouldn't, if they're like, "No, that's too old. It's not worth it." I think they would say that. But I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of who would do it. Would it be Xseed or would it be NS America?
Probably probably on Nippon Ichi because they're handling everything. Trails, I guess now.
And Ease, for that matter.
Yep.
Well, in some ways, at least the new ones. So they must have a pretty decent relationship with NAS America.
And then when Tokyo Xanadu 2 comes out, they're going to work on it too.
That's right. Oh man, that's a dream game.
Falcom,
but it's possible.
Falcom is the only reason why Nippon Ichi is making money right now. So.
Yeah, because all their other games are those super weird, like penny punching princess and like Lapis X Labyrinth, the games that like nobody's buying. So, yeah, these are their big money makers, I'm sure.
So finally, hopefully we'll get this. We'll get this after Cold Steel 3 and 4, I bet. But hey, at least we'll be able to play them sometime.
Yeah, I'm wondering when they say modern, because by the time if they haven't started working on them yet, by the time they're done, wondering Switch and PS5 or something. I'm curious or PC, just PC. I don't know, but
probably going to be PC. I'm wondering if this is a soft confirmation that these games are be coming to the Switch. I doubt it, but
hey, I would, Switch players eat just about anything up at this point. Like, the first 3 years of a console, everything sells well on it. So I'm curious if you were to drop Crossbell and Cold Steel on there, if they would sell or not. But who knows?
Please don't put Cold Steel on there because I don't want to quadruple dip.
You don't need to. See, that's the thing. Save your money for Crossbell.
But I need this version.
No,
The Switch version for this.
You don't need it.
Okay.
You can play the PS4 version on your Vita. There you go. That's the Switch version.
Or I can just play the Vita version.
Or that.
Here's some news that completely out of nowhere. I actually learned this from you. Your Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town coming to the West. And get that, guys. It says Story of Seasons, so that means the actual creators of Harvest Moon are remaking this game again.
Yeah.
For the third time or fifth time.
Fifth time.
Fourth time. I meant fourth.
Was the fourth time. So there was there was Back to Nature, Friends of Mineral Town, and then what were the other ones?
There was Super NES. There was old school Harvest Moon, which had the same characters. So that's what.
Oh, did it? Oh, okay. I've never played the Super Nintendo version. Okay.
But it's like nothing like Back to Nature. But it has the same characters, I think. I'm pretty sure it does. I could be being crazy right now.
I think you're right, actually. The more I'm thinking about it, but yeah.
But then it's that they have Back to Nature, then Friends of Mineral Town, and then more Friends of Mineral Town, and then this one.
More Friends of Mineral Town was the girl version, right? Where he plays the girl,
yeah,
or something. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what I thought. You've played the GBA version, right, or whatever?
Yeah.
Console Friends of Mineral Town. So how different is it? I own it.
It's the same thing, except it's in 2D. And that's what kind of that's like kind of the charm of it. I'm trying to see where it is because I know it's in this room, the Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah.
But the game, yeah, it's just the same game, same as that game as Back to Nature, except it's sprites and 2D based. So it's like, excuse me. So it looks like a classic JRPG instead of that weird, the weird 3D-ness that it has. But it still has the whip, 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 whip when you run.
Same soundtrack?
Yes. Except it's GBA-ified.
Huh. Yeah. I will say that I was watching the trailer and I feel like the Story of Seasons games art style have gone like way chibi, and I really hate that look. Like I was watching the trailer, I think it's called Return to Mineral Town or something like that.
It is called Friends of Mineral Town.
Is it? I thought it was called Return to Mineral Town. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Oh, keep going.
Yeah, it looks cheap. It's weirdly, the PS1 version almost looks better in a way. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm wondering if I'm even going to play it.
No, you're going to play it. Don't lie to me.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks so cheap. I don't know. I'm bummed. I'm bummed at how cheap it looks. Wouldn't you agree though that it doesn't look great?
It looks like a mobile game a little bit.
Yeah.
The only thing, like, I'm like, okay, the only thing that bothers me is some of the character portraits are awful. Like
Okay.
the reimagined characters.
It was hard to tell who was who. I could tell who was Potpourri because she has pink hair, and then Karen doesn't really look like Karen, and then I couldn't tell really most of the other characters.
I think they've only shown Karen, Potpourri, one of the guys. What's
the mayor looks really weird.
Potpourri's brother showed him off, and then the mayor just looks really weird.
Yeah, he's got this really tall top hat. Yeah, I don't like how he looks. I hate the art style. Man,
I wonder.
I'll wait for more gameplay, but initial first impression is it does not look great.
I'm trying to go. I'm trying to see if there's any. So yeah, it is coming. Oh, is it coming out this year?
In Japan, I don't think until next year anywhere else.
And oh yeah, you're right. Oh, it says it's gonna be the American and Europe release is gonna follow the Japan release. So probably going to be like a month later.
That's how most of the other ones were, right? I mean, most
new things now, yeah. Because obviously they're working on it right now. Okay, so it was called Story of Seasons Reunion in Mineral Town.
Reunion in Mineral Town. Okay,
for Japan, but for American, it's called Friends of Mineral Town.
Interesting. Okay.
Because people don't know what the heck Mineral Town is. They didn't play these games. Only us weebs did.
Only us weebs did. That's right. All right, I'm sitting here. I'm gonna give me your thoughts. What do you think of it? I'm rewatching the trailer, and I'll as you're telling me your thoughts.
Well, it looks like a mobile game, and I don't know if it's like gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be good. It should be good, unless they change. I think how could they change the feel of the game that much? Like, we're used to the PS1 clunkiness.
Yeah.
And if it's more clunky than that, which doesn't look like it. I remember the trailer they showed, like, they did the seeds and did, like, all 9 of them at once or something like that. Did that happen in the trailer? You're rewatching it.
Yeah, they do, and it looks like you can walk over crops, because before it was like...
You had to do, like, the horseshoe method.
Yeah, right, exactly. So you could get that middle one. But now yeah, you can throw the seeds on all 9. You can water on all of them, and you can just walk over everything.
So I feel like there's gonna be some quality of life. Oh, they showed off the Harvest Goddess as well. So that was.
I want to marry her, because I remember there is a way to marry her, and I don't know what the trick is, but I remember in the old one there's a way to do it. Like if you keep throwing stuff in the
stuff you grow,
waterfall or whatever.
It has to be stuff you grew. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how you're able to marry her, but it's like, we know it's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's showing marriage. It's showing babies. It's showing. There's different animals. It looks like there's alpacas and penguins and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think they're adding to it. From old.
Oh, they better.
Yeah. So, and you would also play as either the boy or the girl. So it's gonna be Friends of Mineral Town and more Friends of Mineral Town into one.
That's cool. And it looks like you can ride the horse anywhere, because there's a clip where you're riding the horse on the beach, and that's like the opposite end of where your farm is, if they're keeping the layout the same. So it seems like you can run anywhere.
Could you only ride the horse on your farm? I don't remember.
Yeah, you can only ride it. Yeah, you can only ride it on your farm and at the horse race. I don't think you could ride it around town. At least I never did. I could be wrong, but yeah, I just don't ever remember doing that.
Yeah, I don't remember doing that. When I think about riding a horse, Stardew Valley keeps popping into my head. And I'm like, yes, you can ride the horse in Stardew Valley.
See, that's my hope. Obviously Harvest Moon inspired Stardew Valley. I'm really, really hoping that they flip the script and go backwards, and they look at what Stardew Valley did right, and they learn from it, you know. So I'm hoping that they learn from the past, you know, or games that have come since. Because there's been a lot of other those types of games. Like there's this other game I don't know if you've ever played it. Probably not. It's called My Time in Portia, which is a similar type game. It's not so much about harvesting or growing a farm as it is about building up like machines and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same, you know, it's the same idea.
I thought you were going to say there's this other game that you probably don't know about. It's called Rune Factory. It's like
Rune Factory. Yeah, you've played more than I have. I would never say Rune Factory. Yeah, it's just it's a lot more cutesy. I was really hoping they would lean more into my favorite Harvest Moon art style is Save the Homeland, the PS2 game. I was really hoping they'd lean more into that because that's like proportional character models. They look realistic as anime characters can look, and they just had a way better style. But they've never gone back to that look since.
They did
that
for
game,
that. They did. Didn't they go back to it for the Vita game?
For the PSP one?
Was it the PSP? Was it a PSP game?
I don't think they made a Vita one because I remember you and me played a PSP game on Vita. I think it was called like Hero of Leaf Town or something like that.
Yeah,
Hero of Leaf Valley.
And it was the same exact premise. Some corporation was gonna create an amusement park on this town, and you got to save it.
Yeah. But what was cool about Save the Homelands is you could beat that game, I think, 8 different ways because it was all about like how do you stop them from building a theme park. So there's like you can discover a rare creature and that becomes like an endangered species, and that was the only one I could remember. There's like some rare butterfly that you had to find, but there were all kinds of ways. Say raise up enough money and buy it yourself, or something. Yeah, just buy it yourself. But
wait, what if you find the butterfly like at the beginning of the game? Do you automatically win?
I don't think it works like that. I think the game like purposely gates it off or something. Again, I never beat that game. It's available on PS4. That's a game I would love to replay.
It's on PS4?
Yeah, it's a PS2 classic on PS4 with trophies, yeah.
All right. You know what we're getting next?
That's right.
Not that game.
Not that. But yeah, this is exclusive to Switch, as far as I know. You know what? Like, I will...
Story of Seasons has. The games have been exclusive to Nintendo systems now, so.
Yeah, they sure have. Yeah.
Like all those games, even Rune Factory, except for the console versions. Tides of Darkness or whatever. Tides of Destiny.
That was on PlayStation.
Tides of Darkness. Yeah. That's Warcraft 2.
Tides of Darkness. Yeah, I think that this game is all about the vibe, and I think it really a big part of this game is going to hinge on the soundtrack. If they can nail the remix soundtrack and not do new tracks, I think that will help a lot. Seriously, like as goofy as those songs were, like that was a huge part of that game and setting the tone and the vibe of the different seasons and stuff like that.
So what if they still have those songs, but instead of one spring song, there's multiple spring songs?
Fine. I mean, keep the old ones, but then if you want to introduce some new ones, but it's as long as it's about keeping that same feel. Jesus Christ, Nick.
Sorry, I dropped my 50 Mira. I'm sorry.
I apologize, audio listeners. Nick just made your ears bleed.
I dropped my Mira. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's interesting. Like every game from our childhood is being remade. Every single one.
I know, like the you know, if you missed out on PS1 somehow, just wait another like 5 years, and like all the good ones worth playing will have been remade. So we already got all the Crash games, all the Spyro games. We got Resident Evil 2. We have Resident Evil 1. We're gonna get Final Fantasy 7. You know what's really crazy? I don't know if we're going to get into this in the news.
Wait. We're getting Warcraft Classic, Warcraft 3. Not just PlayStation. Yeah. I'm just saying childhood games are being remade. Everything.
By the way, as we were planning this, I don't think I brought this up, but did you hear that there's rumors going around that the Final Fantasy VIII remaster is going to have voice acting?
I remember you tweeting about that.
If that's true, that is so insane. Because I heard that it was getting not only they redid the character models. That game looks like way better, and I heard it was going to get a physical release and it was going to have voice acting. and maybe that's why it didn't release when all the other remasters were coming out. They wanted to like polish it up or something, but that would be really crazy.
Or they actually did lose the source code and they had to remake it.
I mean, that's also possible.
And that's why that's why they have all these goodies now.
Fine. If that's the case, then fine. I've been that would be a game I would look forward to replaying. So
Really?
Bokujo Mano Katari. That's Harvest Moon, but yeah. Harvest Moon remake looks good.
Taylor, do they have turbo mode for the Final Fantasy VIII game?
Yeah, they will. They said they will, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's the only way to do that now because
that's the only way drawing. Taylor will play the game.
The drawing that's for the birds, man.
It's for the birds. Let's move on to I said this is some minor news. A Langrisser I and II is coming to the West for the PS4, Switch, and PC in early 2020.
And that's also kind of a remake. It doesn't look like amazing. It doesn't look like Final Fantasy VII remake, but it's clearly been upgraded. So I'm looking forward to that. That looks cool. Another strategy RPG. We don't get enough of those.
We need more. Yeah. When's Final Fantasy Tactics 2? When is it?
Give it time. Square Enix said they're trying to make their own service or whatever. So give it time, and maybe Tactics will be on there. Maybe they lost the source code for Tactics, and then we'll get a remake on accident because that's all they have. Think about it.
But yeah, that's some small news. The other news is that Atelier Ryza is coming to the West.
Mm-hmm.
They showed off they showed off soundtrack, they showed off gameplay, they showed off Ryza. I get that joke.
More like Atelier thighs, am I right?
The developers know that they created a waifu, and they're just all the details are adding to her. It's just like so obvious. Like when she's running, her little cape thing rises up, so you see her bum. Just like, okay, devs, I get you. Yeah, it's gonna be coming out. Okay, so it's coming out after the Japan release. With the Japan release is in September. And
no, that's the English release is September.
No, the Japanese one is in September. I also read that the North American release is going to be in November.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if that's true. There's all these stories all over the place. I heard there's October as well. We just know it's coming to the West, all right, guys. And this one it looks way better than all the. It doesn't look cheap like the other ones do.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know if they are on a new engine, but the lighting looks way better. The main hub town is huge. Animations look a little bit better. It doesn't look like can reuse stuff from PS3. It seems like they really put a lot of extra work into this one. So
yeah, Game Freak.
What a bunch of jerks.
Man, there's so much stuff. Like people are really, really mad. I'm going on a tangent right now about Pokemon Sword and Shield. The animations, there's more things coming out. Like yesterday, someone posted a animation of a trainer like doing this animation, like he's talking, like super excited, and they post it right next to the same animation from like an older Pokemon game, and it's the same exact animation. It's like. This isn't.
I think we just need to accept at this point that we're never going to get that Breath of the Wild open world Pokemon game. It's just they're always going to be the same. It's going to be new areas, new Pokemon. It's going to be the same game forever and always. They're just not that. What's really crazy is they could scale up and make that kind of game, but they just, if ever they were going to do it, now's the time, and they clearly didn't want to do it. So.
See, they could pull a miracle in these next like 5 months, 4 months, 4 months. Trying to do math here. 4 months. 4 months. Like in that development time, with all the PR that they've shown off, it's like a really old build. But within all that time in between that, They have a bunch of new animations. The game looks way more vibrant and filled, and the graphics are great. What if that happened?
I mean, I would be excited, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They've shown what it's going to be. I mean, I think what we've seen is what we're going to get. So
Get used to it, guys.
sadly, yeah.
So back to Ryza. Are you excited about Ryza? After all this stuff they've shown off? Is this going to be the first Atelier game you play for a while, in a long time?
I mean, I've been waiting for an Atelier girl with thick thighs, so finally I can play a new Atelier game. So now I can play one finally.
It's like finally the main protagonist isn't a 12-year-old girl.
That's right.
I
mean, she could be a 12-year-old girl with thick thighs. We don't know.
That'd be weird.
That would be weird.
I hear Abe in the distance. Man, she's sexy. So that's what he calls every girl that he likes. She's sexy.
She's sexy. He's got a type, apparently.
Yes, he has a type, and everyone knows what his type is.
Yeah, but for real, like I think the game visually looks good. I haven't really seen the systems or anything like that, but I'm excited to check it out.
I saw some screenshots, and I thought they were finally doing what they should do, is real-time time clock system, like in Harvest Moon, where you're running around, time slowly ticking down. But no, they're still doing the whole, you're going to move the next area? Okay, 1 hour passed.
Yeah.
We were close, Taylor. We were really close.
We were close.
We were close.
Are you going to play this one? Because I know you've kind of dabbled in the newer ones.
If there's actually like a storyline and not randomness, like in, what was it, Sophie? Then yeah. I mean, so Sophie felt like I was playing some indie game that's still in production, like an early access game. That's what it felt like to me.
That's an interesting take. I've never played it, so I don't know what it plays like, but
no, that's just like looking at it, like it was super basic. It looked like a PS2 game. It didn't even. It looked like a PS1 game, except like with PS3 models.
What? That doesn't make any sense. What?
You know how
PS1 game with PS2
okay, sorry. You know how PS1 games are like, the details are very sparse.
Okay.
You get like imagine RPG Maker 3.
Okay.
You remember how that game looked?
Yeah.
And you know how everything was like wide open and sparse, and there wasn't like a lot of life in there?
You're talking about the areas.
The areas, yeah.
The towns and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of RPG Maker 3. Everyone just, right now, stop what you're doing, look up RPG Maker 3 PS2, and then just look at the game graphics, and then it's like, yes, that's Atelier. That's Atelier Sophie right there. That's a
okay. So design wise, I'll agree, but like detail wise, I'll definitely hard disagree because I think the character models, even
of course,
the environments look great.
Isn't that what I said? I said it looks like this, but it has the details of PS3, PS4 game.
Yeah.
So that's what reminds me of it. It reminds me of RPG Maker 3.
Interesting. Looking forward to the hate comments already.
How dare you! It's not saying it's bad. That's what it reminded me of. The thing that really got me was the open-endedness of it. It felt like I wasn't doing a story. It was like, oh, I need to just put things in this book. Okay, where do I go? Walk around and do stuff. I did not like that.
Interesting.
I did not like it. So I'm hoping this one has a more like streamlined thing, or more like story focused.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? If you're trying to get into the modern ones, one of the ones like that has the best loop from what I've heard is the last. Well, there's been 2 that have come out, but there's one a couple games ago called Atelier Liddy and Suel, and how that worked is you had to build up, you had to do alchemy up until a certain. you hit a certain like alchemy rank, and then when you hit a certain alchemy rank, you would go into a painting, and it was like a special dungeon, and then you would do the dungeon, and then that was essentially the loop. You had to rank up, do a painting dungeon, rank up, do a painting dungeon. So I think they were looking for their dad or something like that. So if there's one that you're curious to get into,
You own that,
of the
don't
modern
you?
ones, I don't. No, the only modern ones I played the 3 Arlen games. Because I bought Maru on Switch over Christmas, as you'll recall that debacle.
Oh, we know
They
that
ended
debacle.
they patched it and it works now, but I'm just like so far beyond caring. I just don't care anymore, so I'm never gonna play it again, and I'm freaking pissed. But yeah, I think this might be the one that I'll get into, just because it looks nice. It looks like a modern JRPG. It has a nice lighting system. The town is gigantic. For an Atelier game, but still looks really cool. So just don't get it on Switch. Gust is very, very bad at porting games to Switch, because all I've had is crashing and loading trouble with Gust games on Switch.
So they need to level up their Switch porting.
That's right.
You know, the more that I look at RPG Maker 3, I want it.
The only problem is it's limited by. I mean, if you put too much stuff on the screen, the frame rate just takes a dump. So it's really
because
hard.
all I know is that it's because you guys just want to create a huge town that's like Final Fantasy 12 or something like that. I remember we made huge towns, and it's like that's when it started chugging.
I guess that's the limitations of that engine. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I would love for them if they ever made an RPG Maker where it looked like even like basic PS1, you know, like I think of all the RPG Makers, I really liked the RPG Maker 2 look the best. I always call it the South Park look, where they were kind of like midgety and like disproportioned, but it like had a style to it. Like RPG Maker 3 felt really bland in a way, and then all the other RPG Makers are like 16-bit, which really have their limitations. So if ever they were to try to fix or stick to a style or limitations, I think RPG Maker 2 might be the one. But that's just my thoughts.
When's RPG Maker on the Switch?
They pulled one out on the 3DS. It was like RPG Maker MV, and I actually think there's one coming out for Switch, now that you mention it.
Let's look it up. RPG Maker Switch. Live podcasting right now.
Yeah,
there is one. It's RPG Maker MV. But it
comes out September 3rd.
All right, guys. We are going to get this, and we're going to do streams. Looks good. I love it. All right. So
we gotta remake Gobley's Quest, Nick. That's what we gotta do.
So just where you're the monsters.
That's right.
I haven't seen that before. I haven't heard that before.
It actually looks pretty good.
We need a remake. I can't look at it right now, so I gotta later. We'll talk about it later.
Okay, I'm kind of just looking at it, but keep talking. Doesn't look terrible.
Doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look good. No, yeah, it has a decent. Okay, it definitely looks like the PC one, which is expected, but
the problem with the RPG Maker games is the battle system is always like the old Dragon Quest, like first person, you know, and you don't see your characters. I hate that battle system so much.
Yeah, but this one is Final Fantasy 6 style.
Is it? Because I'm watching gameplay and it's that same battle system. Unless there's multiple battle systems that you can try.
No, yeah, it's like right here. It's from NES America. I can't show it to you, but
okay.
It's called RPG Maker MV My Dream RPG trailer.
Interesting. RPG Maker MV My Dream RPG trailer. All right, I'm gonna watch it. That's from Gamescom 2 years ago. Jeez, or last year.
Guys, we are totally making this. We're making this guy. We are making an RPG again. We're going back to the past
to play some RPGs that suck ass.
There you go. When is stream, Nick? Nick, when is stream? Soon, guys. Soon.
Oh, you're right. They do have the Final Fantasy VI battle system. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now we might have something. I wonder how detailed you can make it.
I wonder too.
Like, I wonder if you can make it Persona where they have like weaknesses and stuff like that. You know?
Maybe. All I know is that we're gonna do a RPG Maker 1 stream one of these days.
RPG Maker 1.
And the goal is to create a 30-minute RPG.
That's my thing. I've always just wanted to finish one. Like how many times have we started RPGs and never ever finished them?
Remember, I created like a 40 minute long RPG on RPG Maker 3, and it was awesome. And then it got corrupted. Do you remember that? I was going to show you, and we loaded up, and it wouldn't load up. It was like, this save file is corruption. I'm like, no! Oh.
Terrible. Yeah, my only thing is, like, because you can't have crazy mechanics, you really have to lean on being ultra creative with the limitations of the system, or you have to, like, be really funny or something. Because I'm like, I don't know how you make a really old RPG like that and have it be fun. So I don't know.
How did they do it before in olden days, Taylor?
Because that was top of the line. That was the best of the best. We have way better now. We've surpassed people's expectations.
You know what they need to make? RPG Maker Tales of version.
That'd be cool if they could add a combat system that was like Tales. That'd be awesome.
And I'm talking about classic old school 2D Tales. So we're going Tales of Fantasia PS1 version. That'd be good.
Oh snap!
But yeah, let's move on to some Ys 9. Not really news. They just been showing off that game like crazy.
They have
like crazy, and it looks like Ys 8. How do you think? What do you think about that?
It still looks a little rough. Like I was looking at some of the environment details. It looks a little rough, but yeah, I think it still looks good. Like there's a lot of traversal options, which is neat. There's like a character, or maybe this is just a mechanic in the game where you can run up walls, and there's gliding and stuff like that. So
they've been showing off a lot. Like there's a lot of party members, and they all have a special, unique mechanic.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, of course, my mind immediately goes to how can I speedrun this game? So, of course, I'm going to beat it the first time the real way, and then after, it's all about breaking that game and seeing how I can speedrun it. That should be a lot of fun.
If it's speedrunnable.
Oh, every game's speedrunnable, even if the speedrun's like 5 hours. There's always, they never think of, it's how much time do you want to dedicate to making it a certain way. So
that's what Asian does with my Super Mario Maker levels. He tries to speedrun them, get the world record. Yeah,
nice. Because there's a lot of times that you design something a certain way, but you don't think that people are going to exploit it in another way, and that's just what happens with those with games in general. So
well, he totally did. I should show you the video. He totally broke my level. And I'm like, whoa.
Is that the with the shell level?
Yeah. No, it's Lava and Bones.
Lava and Bones, nice.
All right, so let's move on to what we've been playing. Taylor,
all right,
you have the biggest game that you want to talk about. So
I have a couple that I want to talk about. I recently got a code and did a review for Super Neptunia RPG.
And no, that's funny because the game that you said you're not gonna play nor buy, and I said I was gonna get and buy and play, except you played it and I did not. Weird.
Well, I didn't buy it. I wasn't gonna buy it, but I was like, "Hey, you want to give me a code, huh?" So I was excited about that. But yeah, so it's at full right now. If you buy it at full price, it's $50, which I don't think it's worth that. But it's got a lot of because it has a lot of jank. But if you can get past the jank, the combat system's cool. I think it's really funny. I think it has a nice look. But even I play on PS4. Even on PS4, the menus load really slow. There's some really weird design decisions. Like it's a 2D game, and you have to use the left joystick. You can't use the D-pad, and circle is jump, which is really weird. So
what's the directional buttons? What's the D-pad?
They don't do anything.
No.
And you can't even change it in the options, which is weird.
That is very weird.
Yeah, it blows my mind. But yeah, if you want more details, check out the review on my channel. But I'm trying to think of other things that really stood out. I mean, they make a lot of like heavy-handed references to other JRPGs. Like when you beat levels, she'll be like da 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 and stuff like that. And then there's a part when you're getting a new power, and then there's like this ethereal voice that's like, I am thou, thou art I. It's like doing the persona thing. So they like really lean into that stuff. If it was just more polished, I think that would actually be a really fun game, because the combat system is like Valkyrie Profile, where each character is tied to a face button.
And do you have the combo to do like specials?
You can't really combo in the game. It's just as time goes on, you build up a meter, and then once you have enough points, you can attack with certain characters, but you don't really combo at all. So that is not.
That's not like Valkyrie Profile.
Yeah, generally speaking, the combat system is like Valkyrie Profile, though. Like I said, each character is tied to a face button, but there's no combos really. But it's I don't know. And then there was one thing that really bugged me, where towns, like if you're exploring like the world map or the not town areas, and then once you arrive at a new area, it'll say like question mark, so you've arrived at a new area, and all the different characters have labels, like that like what their names are, but buildings are not labeled. So at the beginning, it's like, go to the guild, and I'm in this town, and I'm running all over the town trying to figure out where the guild is. I go in every single building, but it doesn't tell me what building the guild is. It doesn't tell me what it looks like. There's no way marker on the mini map. So I think I timed it, because I captured it on footage. I think I ran around for 15 minutes in this one town trying to find where the guild was, and it was in this little tiny section in the corner, and you wouldn't think to go there, because the button to enter the building only pops up for like half a second. So it's annoying, to say the least.
Old school design.
It's called bad design, frankly.
I know.
Old school has gotten better.
It's old school design.
But why is everything? My thing is, if everything else is labeled, why not label the buildings? That's my thing. Because like, if you're gonna go all the way and not like have labels for characters, then don't. If you're gonna really lean into that, then do that. That's fine. But when you go halfway, it's just annoying. So no, I would push back and not say that it's old school design. I think it's bad / they didn't think about it design.
Hence, I said old school design. I wasn't saying that it was good. I was just saying the good old school stuff where everything was cryptic. It's like, go to this castle, go to my mansion. It's to the left. It's like, okay, but there's so many things to the left.
Can we run around forever?
Old school.
Yeah. So
what
again,
else?
My last thing I'll say is, if you want to play that, wait for it to be $30 or $40, because $50 for like a 14-hour RPG is not worth it, I don't think. But lately, my obsession has been Dragon Quest Builders 2. And I knew I was going to be obsessed with it, because I was obsessed with the first game. But this one, like, goes above and beyond, and like literally every complaint I had about the first one, this one fixes. So before, when you would craft items, you would have to do it one at a time, but now it asks you how many items you want to make. So you don't have to make one weapon, make another weapon, make another. You can make like 5 at a time or whatever, which is nice. And then speaking of weapons, there's no weapon degradation, so you don't have to keep crafting weapons. They don't break, which is awesome. What else? you have characters that can do stuff for you, which is kind of cool. Like I'm in this town and I have like 15 people in my town, which is a lot considering how not far I am in the game. And they can, right now this town is very focused on like growing crops and stuff like that. So they'll like till the land, they'll grow the crops, they'll cook for you, they'll do all this stuff. So you can go out and do quests and then they're back doing things. And I don't know, it's just, it's really fun. I'm getting really detailed with it. I was telling you this before we started the podcast, but at one point in the game, a character asks you to make a toilet for him because there's no toilet. And so you make a toilet, and then there was like a little bit of extra room where I made the toilets. I'm like, I may as well make 2 of them. And then I noticed like the way I had built my building on the backside of the toilets, it like kind of dropped down into this little like crevasse. And so there's another new tool in the game called the bottomless bucket or something. And so you can pick up water and never run out of water. And so I filled up this little crevice with dirty water, and then I like carved it out so it would like flow under the toilets. I basically made a septic tank for the toilets, which is completely unnecessary, but I just love doing those little details in games like this. It's just so much fun. So I'm having a lot of fun with Builders 2. And there's multiplayer, which I have not dabbled in yet, but if anybody listening is playing the game on Switch, hit me up on Twitter in the Discord or something like that, because I'm playing it on Switch. It'd be fun to play multiplayer.
Speaking of Switch, how's it run?
I mean, it runs at 30. It's a steady 30. It has not buckled, for me at least. I'm sure on PS4 it runs at 60, but I'm leaving for California in about 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. And my thought was, I'm probably not going to beat this by the time I leave for California, so I'm going to get on Switch so I can play it portably. And yeah, runs pretty good so far. I've watched some reviews that have said that the frame rate can dip, but I've played about 5 to 10 hours so far, and I have not seen that yet. So maybe I'm just lucky, or I'm just not at a CPU intensive area yet. But yeah, it's really fun. Like honestly, I think it's I'm in the glow of that game. The honeymoon period. I don't know if it's quite as good as Resident Evil 2, but in my mind, it is like that's the battle right now for my game of the year is Builders 2 and Resident Evil 2. So
we all know that Cold Steel 3 is going to win, so it doesn't matter.
That's right. Yeah, Cold Steel 3, look out. But the bummer / awesome thing is in 2 weeks, Fire Emblem 3 Houses comes out, so my Switch is very, very busy right now. Oh, and I've also been playing some Mario Maker. I made one level that I think you beat, right, Nick?
Yeah, you made it, and then I got up for work, and I saw like 10 minutes left before I could leave. I beat it. It was like 4 in the morning. It's like
nice.
Okay, that was done.
Yeah, it was. It's a new Super Mario Brothers levels. So if you know how to jump spin, it's pretty easy, frankly. But I think a lot of people didn't know how to jump spin, so a lot of people were dying. But
yeah, it was a good level because the jump spin mechanic. You made it so it needed to do that.
Yeah, because at the beginning there's those little chompy plant things, and if you just try to jump, they'll kill you. But you have to jump and spin. That gives you the extra room. But you've been playing Mario Maker too. Obviously, if you play my level, you have it. But what have you thought of it so far?
It's fun. I'm building a huge level right now.
Oh yeah,
and I haven't finished it. I finished like 2 levels in like 2 days because I'd go to bed and I'm like, you know what, I want to make a level, and I just make a level for like I spent like an hour making this level and I made it. Those are those first 2 levels that I made. But this one I'm like designing it. I'm like breaking the system because I keep doing things like I have ideas to do things and system won't let me do it because it's like, oh, I can't do it. I'm doing a custom scroll, right? So I'm making the scroll, the camera like move up and down and stuff like that. And each time you do that, you have a line in Mario Maker, or the scrolling line in the course level maker, and you have put little points to where you want the scroll to go to. And I didn't know this, but apparently there's a limit of 10.
Oh, interesting.
So in the middle of the level, I stopped. The scrolling wouldn't change anymore, and I'm like, Oh, now I gotta change everything, so I had to delete all my points, and I had to change the scrolling. Luckily, I have more. I found a way to do it, but I got to a point where the level ends, or the first part of the level ends, and then I'm going to start the grid in the second part, which is going to be like a speed run, because the scrolling is just going to go super fast, and you have to run through it.
I will say those have been my favorite levels so far, the speedrun levels, especially the ones with the where you hit the switches. It's like if you run fast, hit a switch so you can land on something and just keep running. Like those have been so much fun. Because what was funny is leading up to Mario Maker 2, I had beat Mario 3 on the Nintendo Online, NES Online thing, and I never beat it. So it was fun to beat that like literally days before Mario Maker 2 came out, and then I was like all hyped. I'm like, yeah, I'm like right in the mood for some more Mario, and yeah, it's just been fun. I've put in almost 30 hours so far, according to the Nintendo Switch hour tracker thingy. But it's it's really good. It's fun.
You gotta make another level, Taylor.
I do. There's so many games out right now. I want to. I want to make a car level. The car levels are fun too. I've seen some people make really fun car levels. I want to make a car level.
Have you played any of Asian's levels?
I played his first one, the hamburger one. That one's really easy on purpose, I think. And then I haven't played his other ones.
Have fun with those. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I tried to play your shell one, and I got like halfway. I'm like, fuck this, I'm done.
But the shell one's easy.
No, then I don't want to play your other ones.
You couldn't do the one where you had to hit the switch, grab the shell again, and hit the other switch.
That sounds right. So here's my problem with Mario Maker is if a level's too easy or if it's too hard, it's like too easy to just quit and boot up another level because there's like millions of levels. Like you'll find something that you like. So in my head, I'm like, why spend time on a level that I am frustrated with when I could close it and find another one immediately? So that's
Taylor. How do you live with yourself?
I don't know. It's a hard life, you know. It's a hard life.
But yeah, Mario Maker's fun. But surprise game from the Nick. You have no idea I've been playing this, I bet. I bought Lost Sphere.
Interesting.
And I've been playing that.
Okay.
All right.
What do you think of that?
So it was on sale for $16.
16, and that's about an appropriate price.
And yes, it is. That's the price. So I'm playing it, and it's a very simple RPG, cute, fun characters. At least the main character actually talks this time.
Oh, nice.
The battle system's way better, so much better. The guy's good music, and it's just like a solid JRPG. It's not gonna blow your mind or anything. You're not gonna be like, this is gonna be the best thing ever created. No, it's a solid, simple JRPG. Just say it that.
Nice.
And yeah, I've just been playing it, and it's fun. I don't know how far I am though. I think I might be like a little, almost halfway. I was playing it on stream. I just got my mech suits, so.
Oh, cool.
That's fun.
Nice.
It's funny because, the trailer was like, what if everything you knew faded away? What are you? And then you need to use the power of friendship to save the memories. And it makes it seem like it takes a while for you to get this power, but no, it happens right in the beginning of the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was really funny because at the beginning of the game, you get a quest from the village elder. She was like, I need you to go hunting for me and get some pork, or get some, like, whatever the equivalent of pork is in this game. And I'm like, oh, great. I'm going to go away and something's going to happen to the freaking village. And that's exactly what happened. Of
course.
It got lost. It just became a white mist. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, boy.
But then I figured out how to, apparently, some power awakens in the main character the moment you go into the city, or the town, and I'm able to restore it right at the beginning. So I'm like, okay, I'll fix the village. But it was just really funny that it used the village is destroyed trope right at the beginning. Funny. I enjoyed it.
Did you have amnesia when you woke up?
A little bit of amnesia. Someone got hurt. No magical girls though, so not yet. Maybe. But yeah, that's all. That's pretty much all I've been playing, other than that and WoW. Wow. But I am, sadly, guys, I'm gonna be going on vacation next week, so we won't be having a podcast the next week. Sorry, but it's just timing. But during that vacation, I am going to blast through these 2 games. If you're not watching, I'm holding up Trails of Cold Steel and Cold Steel 2 for the PS4. So I'm gonna blast. I've already played them, but I want to finish my file on the of the first game on the PS4, which is just, it has all bonding events. I have all bonding points, so I could do every bonding event. That's the main reason why I'm playing it, just to see everything I missed. And I'm going to do the same thing Cold Steel 2. Because if you play New Game Plus and you transfer all of your levels and stuff, then the game is cakewalk, even in Nightmare mode. So I'm just doing the stuff you hate, talking to everyone. That's all I'm doing in that game. Because the battles are so easy.
Interesting.
It's gonna be fun.
Huh. Well, I've heard 2 is better from everybody that's played it. It's much more. It's a lot less rigid, and yeah. So we shall see. I definitely want to play it because I want to get around to playing 3. It just looks so much cooler. I mean, and the story's pretty interesting. So.
But you listened to the Easy Allies thing, right? The Easy Allies interview with Kondo. He said that it's the same thing as that. Oh, you didn't?
I mean, I listened to part of it, but not the whole thing.
The beginning is, he says that Cold Steel 3 is going to be, you do quests, you do side quests, you go on to, because you're a teacher now, and they go on to field studies and all that and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this is not going to be for Taylor.
Oh shit! Well,
but there's more.
I give up on Cold Steel.
But there's way more story in 3, so obviously you're gonna play it. It's gonna happen.
Nah, not gonna happen. No, I give up. Thanks for warning me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'll play it first to give you some ideas. All right. So let's move on to questions. We got a lot of questions because we haven't done podcasts in about 5 years. From B Cops, biggest JRPG disappointment of the year so far.
Of the year, I'm trying to remember what has come out so far. So, like, the big ones were, it was Kingdom Hearts 3. Obviously, was the big one. I can't remember what else came out this year, frankly.
Taylor, there's one huge game that disappointed you. You had a whole rant about it in one of the podcasts.
Then remind me.
I just talked about them right now.
That's a remaster. That doesn't count.
But still the JRPG moment, and it's from this year, and it disappointed you because you didn't fall in love with it.
Yeah, I guess Cold Steel 1 then, if that's what we're going with. I want to talk about new games though.
New games. If that's the case, then I have none because I haven't really played any new ones.
Well, that's all your fault.
And that really disappointed me.
Let's see. Nothing ever disappoints you, though.
True, right?
Okay, let's look at some release dates. So we had Kingdom Hearts 3. We had Cold Steel.
Okay, here we go. Here's Kingdom Hearts 3 disappointed me for one reason. It was too damn easy.
It was pretty easy.
That's the only, it didn't have really fun boss battles. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that disappointed me. Other than that, the game's great. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
2's better, though. 2 is pinnacle Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, for sure.
Why do you have a hockey puck in your hand?
It's a stress ball thingy.
It's a hockey puck.
You know what's disappointed me, Nick?
But
It's that Grandia and Grandia 2 HD are still not out yet. That disappointed me.
Taylor, you have a Vita, right? Taylor, you
Nick,
own Grandia on that
HD.
Vita.
It's not HD. It's 480 on a 720 screen. It's not the same.
It is the same.
It's not.
You've already played it.
I never played Grandia 2, and I don't want to play it on a PC.
You're gonna buy it on the because if you buy it on the Switch, you get Grandia 1 and 2 in one. So.
Yep. What else? I mean, I guess that's it. I didn't play any of the Atelier games. Super Neptunia was about what I expected. I mean, a town got delayed, which was kind of a bummer.
Because they need a help, frickin' B Team Game Freak that finished frickin' Pokemon Shield and Sword and Shield.
That's right.
They need to make those animations. Where it's just like this.
So stiff.
From Smash or Miss. With Final Fantasy VII Remake finally on the way, what part of the whole Final Fantasy VII are you most looking forward to seeing again? I know Taylor's answer.
Yeah, my answer will forever and always be Gold Saucer. I just can't wait to see how it looks in HD, what they've added, what mini games they've added or removed even. I'm trying to think if there are other places that are kind of cool looking, or if there's moments that I'm curious as to how they do them. But to me, Gold Saucer is the big one for sure.
Cosmo Canyon? Isn't that where you're in the planetarium?
Cosmo Canyon. I was thinking about Cosmo Canyon. Cosmo Canyon might be another one, but for sure. I mean, you know me and my island coastal towns, but there really aren't any. There's Costa del Sol, but it's not very big, so I don't really. Well, maybe Costa del Sol. Maybe it'll surprise me. Yeah, maybe. Okay, I'll say Costa del Sol then. I'll say Costa del Sol and Gold Saucer. Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to see this for ages, but I want to see what they do for the world. Because all we're going to see in the first one is Midgar. What are they going to be doing for the world map, exploration, and all that? Is it going to be like Final Fantasy XIV, where you drive a car? Listen to old Final Fantasy tunes while driving that car?
15? Yeah, I don't know.
Cooking some instant ramen?
I doubt it. I really doubt it. I think it'll be a lot of Chocobo riding. I think the Chocobo farm might be closer to Midgar than maybe it is in the other one.
It's just going to be a picture of the world, and you just go to point. So it's all
That's
gonna
right.
be.
That's it. Yeah, they're going to really phone it in.
From Darisham, what is your favorite time of day to play video games?
Either late at night after work or really early in the morning on the weekends. Because on the weekends, it's like, I got nothing to do. It's like kind of cozy. The sun's not quite up yet. Get a little cup of coffee and a blanket and just play some games. That's perfect. Or after work.
So, if it's a day off, the best time to play is when it's raining or overcast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
That's not a time of day.
And it's like the
time of the day when it rained, you know?
You didn't let me continue. Okay. And it's like the evening time. It's still a little light out, but skin darker. But, yeah. What's it called? Dusk?
Dusk, yeah, for sure.
Dusk and evening.
Nothing like a rainy day when it's dusk. Like right now, it's getting overcast right now. The sun's starting to go down. Right now, it's going to be a perfect time to play.
And just a couple states over from you is a giant storm of death, apparently. Aren't you lucky?
Every day is a giant storm of death, so nothing too surprising. What's really been sucking lately is that our pipes on our AC unit are not very well insulated. So every time it rains, like a giant block of ice forms around the pipes, and then the AC turns off. So we have to turn the AC off, let it melt, and then turn it back on. So we have to like re-insulate the pipes on the outside, which is really annoying. Fun adult things, yay.
Welcome to owning a house.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's 90 degrees in the house. I'm like, oh, God, kill me. But
It's been very muggy over there.
Oh yeah, humid.
It's been very muggy
hot.
over here, weirdly. In California, it's going to be muggy. Have fun with that when you go to Tahoe.
Yeah, we'll be able to jump in the lake. It'll be nice and freezing.
Tahoe's not that cold. I mean, it's cold, but it's not that cold.
We're spoiled here. I mean, the East Coast beaches is like bathwater. It's like hot almost.
From Simply Urban's Z, do you think the new Tales of Entry will have 4-player co-op like the epic Tales of Vesperia, or will it be the standard 2-player experience, possibly single player? Okay. If the game is what I think it is, 2 players gonna be gone. Because even in Berseria and Zestiria, 2-player was like barely playable. Because it focuses on the main character, and since the camera is like behind the character at all times, sometimes like for some reason, then you can never see what the second player is doing. So.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when the way it looked very ease-ish, which doesn't really lend itself to being 2-player. I think it'll probably just be single player.
We could be wrong.
Because I mean, we've only seen 2 characters. I mean, it's a Tales game. They're going to have more characters. But I think smartly, I think they're going to blow up what a Tales game is and do a lot of different things that we're not expecting. And for the better, because like each game has, like I've said, has sold less than the last. So it needed a shakeup. So taking out multiplayer helps it sell better then. Yeah.
If I don't know if we talked about this before, but did we talk about how they had like an interview with one of the guys at Namco, and he said that for the Tales purists or that are worried about changing it too much, they said that the battle system is going to be it's still going to feel like Tales, and there definitely are going to be multiple party members. There's not just going to be one.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah, I figured there'd be at least multiple party members.
And the game is not open world. That's what they said. It is not open world.
Interesting.
So it just looks that way. It's going to be just like what we've played before, where it's connected by highways.
Wider. Yeah, just wider maybe, which is fine.
Areas connected by highways. So no world map though.
That's fine. Make good towns. Design it well. The design has been horrendous for like 4 games, so fix the design.
From Isual, how much do you spend on Vidya in a year? Too much.
That's a great question. I saw that question and I was trying to think about it in my head. If I were to go back and look at all the games I play in a year, I'd probably buy at least 1 new game a month. So what is that? So that's yikes. That's at least 720 a year. That's that. And then depending on if it's a new console year, which it hasn't been in a while, thankfully. And then if there's accessories, and then everyone, you'll buy those little games, like there's a couple $15, $20 games here and there they all buy. So if I had to wager a guess, I'd probably say somewhere around a little under 1,000 maybe, which now that I put it out like that is kind of crazy, but whatever.
I would say like $1,000 a year, depending on the year. Sometimes it could go like way more than that because a lot of cool things come out. Like collector's editions of every game that I want ever comes out for some reason in the same year.
Yep.
And that's just for video games. That's not for like merchandise. And would upgrading a computer count as video games?
If you're playing games on it, sure.
Well, I upgraded a computer, so that was $2,000 there in 1 year.
Yeah, those are always pricey. And then next year we're getting PS5 and new Xbox, so I don't know what those are going to cost.
And Switch Pro.
Yeah, I mean we didn't really talk about it, but I'm guessing you have no interest in the Switch Lite.
No, there's no reason because we already have the portableness.
Yes, it's for if you wanted it cheaper or lighter or something. But yeah, I like being able to take having it be a Switch. It's not really a Switch if you don't have the TV portion of it. So I'll upgrade it if they do a Switch Pro, make it a little more powerful.
I think the Switch Pro is gonna be TV only.
Why do you say that?
Because it's gonna upgrade how the console is, right?
Hmm.
But they can't put it in handheld form, so it's gonna be like a console box.
That would suck because again, that defeats the purpose of the Switch. If they did that, I wouldn't buy it because it's like the whole purpose of the Switch is so you can take it out on and off. I get the handheld only, especially for Japan, but if you made a TV only version, it's gonna look so underpowered when PS5 and Xbox One comes out. Like, if I was any smart consumer, I would just save my money and buy a PS5 if that's what the Switch Pro is. Because I feel like that's just unless you really, 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 really love Nintendo games, which there are a lot of people that do. I don't see the value in that.
Well, I think a lot of people have already actually bought the Switch. The people who would want it. So,
I mean, that's hard to say, but I mean, so for example, like B Cops, he's like, I'm holding out, man. I'm waiting for that Switch Pro. Like he wants to play those games, but he's like, I'm waiting. Just wait.
well, B Cops, there's not gonna be a Switch Pro. I'm telling you now, it's not gonna happen. So buy a Switch right now.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the moment he buys a Switch, the Switch Pro gets announced.
You give it a year. I mean, unless you want to. See, here's the thing. Like, I don't think with PS5, I think that is going to be a much harder sell than PS4 was. Because when PS4 was coming out, we were ready to jump. Like, PS3 had been out for so long. And I think devs were too. It was such a hard system to develop for. But I think I'm so happy with my PS4. Unless there's a ton of killer games at launch, right now I can't see myself buying a PS5. To me, I don't. Will have to sell me really hard on it.
The only thing that if they say backwards compatible with all versions of PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4,
then that's the only thing.
That's the instant buy. Instant buy.
And it's got a good UI because we all know PS3 didn't have a great UI. PS4's is pretty good. So if it has a great UI and it's backwards compatible with everything, goodbye everybody. Selling everything. There's no reason to keep that shit. None.
Selling all what?
All the old consoles. I still have my PS2 and PS3 to play all my old games on, but if PS5 is backwards compatible with everything,
You're not going to sell your PS2, and you're not going to sell your PS3. Well, maybe the PS3. I'm just saying that because no one's going to buy them.
possible. People in Brazil, they love those PS2s.
Oh, okay. From Kimpy, not a question, but just wanted to shout you guys out, as I always love the content and always look forward to every episode. I have a feeling Kimpy was very sad this past month.
Sorry, Kimpy.
Oh God, Abe. I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna have to censor it. So
I know what it is. Don't read it. Just skip it. I know what that question is. There's no reason to read that question.
Abe, come on. We all know that you don't.
Come on.
You don't say the Eternal Sword. Sorry. From Maximilian Wonder, what's the last dream you remember?
The last dream I remember?
Mm-hmm.
The last dream I remember was last week, and I was hanging out with The Rock and this guy that I like watching named Gary Vaynerchuk. He's like a business, like motivational speaker type guy, and we were all just hanging out. Nothing particularly crazy was happening, but I remember The Rock being really short for some reason. He's like 6'5" or 6'4" in real life, and he was like my height, and he looked really weird being that short. And we were just hanging out, and that was the dream.
How do you remember that?
I don't dream that often, so anytime I have a dream, I'm like, whoa, that was weird.
My last dream was... I have no idea what it was about. I just remember that I was with a lot of my family. Like, extended family, not just my immediate family. Like, back in the day, where I used to go to, like, family parties, and it was, like, a huge party with a bunch of people for 4th of July. It was, like, one of those. It was weird. And there's people there that shouldn't have been there. So, that was odd. That's the only thing I remember from that dream.
Just people.
Just people.
It's not bad. Good to remember family.
Do you remember your last nightmare?
My last nightmare.
That's not. I'm just adding to this question myself.
Like a scare? Not really. I haven't had something that really scared me. No.
I remember.
Do you remember yours?
I wasn't really scared, but it was freaky. I remember it, but I don't remember it at the same time. Is that weird to say? Like I know I know I had one, and I have like visions of it, but I don't really remember it.
Sure. No, I've had dreams like that. I remember bits and pieces, but not the whole thing or the context of any of it.
Man. I just remember it being like very weird, or very eerie. Like being in that situation would make you feel like sick to your stomach, kind of stuff. From Wingy Shaft, best JRPG art so far that is not Persona 5.
Best JRPG art that is not Persona 5. Interesting. I would say
not fan art.
I would say Ni no Kuni 2, possibly Ni no Kuni 1 once the remaster comes out, but 2 just runs better, looks crisper right now. Ni no Kuni 2 is a good one. I'm trying to think of other ones.
You know what has really great art? That always has really great art? The Atelier series.
They do. I would definitely agree with you on that. The production value, generally speaking, is not high, but like they have this really nice watercolor look to all their characters, so that's a good choice. That's a really good choice, actually. I'm trying to think if there have been like games on Switch that did something unique that I can't think of.
Just think of the art, not the game itself.
I know. I'm trying to think of any JRPGs. Like obviously, it would be anything modern.
Tales of has really good art. For some reason, sometimes it doesn't translate into the game, which is sad.
I mean, of all of them, Vesperia is probably the best looking one, at least to me. Vesperia. What are some other? I'm gonna go on a little Google trip real quick.
I think you keep thinking art style and not art.
What's the difference?
Like character art.
That's unless they have character portraits when they're talking, that's like the same thing. I feel like Dragon Quest XI looks amazing. The whole thing, like characters and the environment. I really like the look of that game. I think also Valkyria Chronicles has a cool look. The console games.
That is good art, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of good games that don't have a great style or a great look. Like Nier Automata looks cool, but it doesn't really have a distinct style or.
You want to see a distinct style, guys? Look up Vandal Hearts for the PS1, and look at that art. It's really weird.
It's pixelated and interesting. Yeah. You know what I think has a really cool art style is Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I mean, that's basically Persona, but that's sort of cheating in a way. But it's not Persona. It's got its own like. It's got its own neon, bright, poppy. I don't know. It's similar, but it's not. Yeah, I think that's a great one. A lot of people want to say Xenoblade, but frankly, I don't think any of the Xenoblades look particularly good.
How can you say anything about Xenoblade 2? Because there's a bunch of different artists designing the blades in Xenoblade 2. Just which artist is the best one?
Yeah, but it's the best. Okay, it just says art, just JRPG art so far.
And you got to think of who he is. This guy's the guy who's drawing Mila and Velvet, so he's obviously talking about character art.
I guess, but I can't help but think of like resolution and like clarity, because like Xenoblade runs at like 540p on handheld mode. It just doesn't look very good.
Just don't think this. Think about the character art. Just think about in your main menu when you look at your blades and the art. There's a lot of artists in. There's some artists in Xenoblade 2 that are just like, why are you even here? You totally don't fit the style. And there's some art that's just like, wow, it's really good.
Yep. Anyway, well, that's probably that.
Yep. Hello, Matt.
You can hear him?
Yep. All right, so that is where I'm going to end this episode. We are sorry that it took so long to come out, but now we look like we might have a steady schedule unless something happens with Taylor, because Taylor might have a big project coming up or something like that. We'll give you updates on Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, we are on everything now. We are on so many. We're on Spotify. We're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, every podcast host we are on. So if you want to listen to audio, you search just anything. We're probably on it. But of course, we're on YouTube as well. And if you're on YouTube, be sure to like and comment. Give us a comment of anything that we've talked about. This might have been a little more relaxed, or might has not been informative or as much tangents, because we have to get back in the flow. It's been a while. But next week, our next podcast, we'll be ready. We'll be ready for more.
Yeah.
Because Taylor's gonna have beaten Dragon Quest Builders 2. I would have beat Lost Sphere and started freaking Trails Cold Steel. And I am very tired because that feels like I'm like slurring and talking really weird. So sorry. But Taylor,
I'm not gonna beat it in a week, but I will beat it. Maybe in a couple weeks. I'm gonna take my time with Builders 2. It's fun. I want to go slow and do everything.
Maybe you're gonna beat the story, but then just continue doing all the other stuff.
We'll see. I don't know. No promises. I don't want to blast through this. I'm gonna go as slow as I can because it's fun.
Yeah. We'll be back in 2 weeks. I promise. Taylor, do you promise?
Well, I'm gonna be there in 2 weeks, so I'll probably be able to. We'll do a live one at your house or something like that.
Yeah, we'll be recording in the studio. It's my room now. I have deconstructed it. It's not a studio anymore. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll be back. I'll put a big update this week about what's going on. And yeah, we'll be back. Later.
See ya.